Hi, I'm Heather Russell, Senior Specialist of Contemporary Art with ArtNet Auctions, and I'm incredibly honored and very excited today to be at the studio in New York with one of the most important and exciting Japanese contemporary artists, Miss Mariko Mori. So thank you for having us to your studio. It's a pleasure to meet you. So how does it feel to work with the Japanese, the Japan Society, and to have your show there?
Yes, the context was perfect for me because the research that I began in 2003, particularly in the Jomon culture, which is a prehistorical culture in Japan, and I also requested to receive a loan from the private collection of the Jomon base. So in a way, it's really the context was really perfect for this exhibition.
Right.
Yes.
Clearly, the show is not a survey show. Hence the title. It's recent works.
Yes.
And the themes within the show itself clearly are very different than your earlier works that have to do more with Japanese pop culture. What can you tell us about the themes that you're exploring in your recent works and in the show?
Yes. Through my the research in prehistoric culture, not only in Jomon, but it's ancient Celtic culture in Europe as well. I have learned a lot from the idea of relationship between nature and human from remote ancestors, and I really wanted to exhibit the work that was inspired by them, but it's also through the journey of exhibition, it's just to really try to remind us the connection between nature and then how prehistoric people were honoring nature, and their culture was deeply rooted in nature. So somehow in modern society we've forgotten that. So I wanted to revitalize our connection between nature and human. So that was the theme throughout the exhibition, but also the title Rebirth. The Rebirth is the theme that I discovered when I visited many archaeological sites. It was a universal theme that kind of resemble in my mind, and it's a kind of a symbolizing a circulation of nature. So the exhibition installation itself it's kind of starting from death and then ended at the rebirth. So there is a work in between death and rebirth. So it's kind of like a continuous circulation that you can go back to begin the exhibition again.
It was very tempting to keep going through because I discovered something new almost every time, which leads me to a question about the curation of the show. There's I think 35 or so works in the show. What was your selection process like in deciding? There's many different types of works, obviously installation and sound, some drawings, etc. What was the selection process like?
The work that I wanted to bring, which is the work I produced from this research, but it's also brought some early work from 2001 and to very recent work from last year. And actually, this exhibition was first exhibited at the Royal Academy in London, and but the space is very different. But I wanted to try to keep this kind of sequence of the death and rebirth.
Right.
Yes.
Well, it's beautiful. The installation is really lovely, and so congratulations to you and to the director of the Japan Society, who I understood also helped curate the show.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, I am formally trained as a classical archaeologist. So when I saw the archaeological artifacts, that beautiful vase, and other works that clearly explore your personal interest in archaeology, I, of course, I just fell in love with the work. How did you develop an interest in archaeology and in ancient history? I just find it so unusual in contemporary artists that they reference this, and really exciting that you're doing so.
Yes, I think it was 2003. I was really thinking about the relationship with nature, but that when I visited this archaeological site, I really felt that I could learn from this site, because the aesthetic, or like a more kind of layout of stones, they're very different from contemporary society, modern society. So I thought by just learning their aesthetics, it could also help me to understand how they're feeling about the nature, because the object was stone and so on. But also when I began the research, I think it was in 4 or 5, I had an exhibition in Tokyo University Museum, where I was able to collaborate with archaeologists from Tokyo University, and they gave me many kind of papers on. It's like it's not like a published book. It's like a paper
on archaeological reports.
Right. And I was access to this data of this archaeological report, and then I have learned a lot about their idea of what the interpretation of the site and so on, and then I really get involved and getting really deeper into the research.
Your true interest and knowledge is very evident in the works. I just want to congratulate you, because as an archaeologist walking in, I could feel the ancient history, not only in the vase you have, but the one that you cast, which I loved so much, and also that you do reference Celtic. So not just Japanese archaeology, but Celtic religion and history, and so there's a very spiritual element there that really works, and I think it's a beautiful aspect to the show. In contrast to that, you've got a fabulous work in Reborn that is called White Hole, and I understand you also have an interest in, with this piece, in exploring astrophysics and issues like the black hole. What can you tell me about your interest in this aspect, and also how White Hole manifested itself for you?
Yes. Well, the black hole and white hole is connected by a wormhole, but the white hole I exhibited in Japan Society it's not a physical white hole. I mean, it's not. It's more imaginative white hole. So in a way that all the star being fed by black hole, maybe energy disappeared, but perhaps soul of the star will born again from the white hole in Japan Society. And in order to produce this work, I was collaborating with a professor from Kyoto University, Professor Mineshide, and he provided me formula of a black hole, how the star being fed. So when the star is kind of pulled by gravity, the form of the sphere disappears and it becomes a string of particles. So in the white hole that you see in the Japan Society, it's come up from the string of the particle and then form a star. And so you kind of see the before it born and kind of towards the end the star is born.
It's a wonderful piece, and I love the fact that you did have a balance between astrophysics and space, and then archaeology and religion. It's really impressive.
Thank you.
You're welcome. One aspect of the show I found incredibly powerful was your video documentary explaining the earthwork primal journey that you're working on at present. What can you tell us about earthworks in general as they relate to your body of work at present?
Okay. Well, when I visited Miyako Island, it was extension of my field work of prehistorical culture. I discovered the rituals that were kind of continued since 13th century. Nothing has changed. And Miyako Island itself has 500 sacred places for nature. And so I felt that perhaps our remote ancestor, their mind was like this. It's like full of gratefulness to the nature and really to honor nature. And but unfortunately, even remote island like Miyako Island, it's hard for modern kind of society or modern people to inherit this important culture. And but we can't say like, oh, please keep it, because it's selfish for us to say, please keep this tradition. It's if, for example, the priestess once become the priestess, they are not allowed to go outside of the island. And it can't really you can't really modify in order to live in a modern society. So, but I was thinking we can take this essence and have it in a contemporary society, that we can also nurture these feelings and this idea to honor nature. Because from remote ancestors until now, we are all sustained by nature, and we are nature, and we are here because of that nature aspect of a human being. And why I started to deliver this work to Miyako Island, I started to feel the power of art that really connect many different people from different culture and different field. And so I've been exhibiting work in galleries and museums, which I can communicate with many people, but without any kind of information about contemporary art, even to fishermen, to farmers, they can appreciate the work, and the work can be part of their life. So I started to see how art can link many different disciplines and different culture from different nation and so on. So I decided to form non-profit organization called FAO in order to produce and install the work dedicated to nature on the earth, to really really to connect us all, because we are all resident of earth. And the Miyako Island people taking care of their ocean, but it's our ocean too. It's not their ocean. So I just want to I just want to kind of give the work in order to sustain their conscious and also kind of connect us all to the nature back again.
I understand that the Pharma Foundation will be supporting other projects hopefully in the future as well. So
yes.
Can we expect to see more in different parts of the world, do you think?
Yes, we are working on that for South America. So we found waterfalls, and so in a way in Japan society is a mock-up of what would be in a real waterfall in a place called Visconti-Mauá. It's between Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, and the local people are very excited, and so we really hope to, make this gift to them. And the great thing about it, when you visit, you learn so much from the local people. So myself, every time I visit, I gained so much. So in a way, it was I already received a gift, so I wanted to return the gift, and that was the work that we wanted to give. So I think whoever visit these places, you were moved by how much they were honoring nature.
What are you working on at present? And can we expect to see any shows with Sean Kelly or any of your other galleries? Or are you taking a break after this exhibition?
Well, I'm working on a new body of work. Actually, exhibition is now on in Tokyo, Rebirth Espace in Tokyo, yes. And that's all new body of work. It's called Infinite Renew. So it's kind of like a connection to the rebirth, but it doesn't have any prehistorical theme. And so I'm developing this body of work, and I hope to bring it to New York.
That would be very exciting. Please let us know when you do.
Okay.
Thank you for your time so much today. It was a great pleasure, and congratulations again on your beautiful show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.